finish it again.
Yeah, but I think
And
that
get
Nancy
the
said,
second part of the
Oh,
started
okay,
up here.
okay, gotcha.
I got
All right.
my phone number and my address. So,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Faiza is a freshman in high school
Exactly.
whose interests include reading about psychology, playing with her cat, and sitting on the internet for hours.
Yes, well,
Faiza has been interested in creative writing for almost 2 years, and she always strives to get better. Tonight, she's reading 2 free verse poems, Mask and Memories. Let's welcome Faiza.
All right, so the first poem I'll be reading is Mask, and basically I wrote this poem like 2 a.m. I just woke up one day, and I was like, I'm gonna write this. It's in the perspective of one of my original characters, so here we go. By day I'm happy, a fun-loving spirit, filled with wishes, hopes, and dreams. But when the sun sets, my mind just forgets all the wonders it has seen. Shadows cover the light, storms rage the waters of my heart, and the air skips my atmosphere. Inside is a battle between the depression and the happiness in my mind. But all is hidden from the eyes of my kindred. They don't have a clue about what my soul goes through. A mask covers the pain, a smile averts their eyes, a laugh relieves them for a while. My facade takes away their word, but deepens mine. Every fake simper is just an extra weight on my heart, and the strain is almost too much. I just want to be free. That's all I'd ask. My one wish is to take off this mask.
oh, wow.
That was a little intense. The second one is Memories, which is basically just me kind of rambling in a structured way. So, I ponder my past as of late. This method of reflection is truly innate in all of us, even you. It's human to look back, the good, the bad, and everything in between. Whether we accept these thoughts with open arms or cower beneath our sheets. And as our embarrassment is only temporary, our memories may seem as such. The voice of a loved one, the pranks you witnessed, the friends you had a laugh with, can all just fade away into the fog made of our thoughts. It's easy to get lost in this. The fog can fill your lungs and pierce your heart. It can cloud your mind to block your way back to reality. You can get trapped in it for days. But within this mess, there is a light. A light that is inside our minds, a light that can penetrate the fog and remind us of the joy in our lives, to forget the darkness within us. These are the happy memories, and we must always remember them, no matter how hard. Thank you.
Very good.
Very nice.
All right, so up next, we've got Mick. He's on vacation from the west of Scotland. He's going to do some stand-up and a poem for us. Let's welcome Mick.
Hi, my name is Mick, and already the erudite amongst you. Sorry, the first rule of performance is to be nice to the audience, and when I just said the erudite amongst you, I meant all of you, right? You all thought, with a name like Mick, there was a good prospect that somewhere along the line I had some Irish heritage, and you would be right. My parents were Irish, except, of course, I have to tell you that my mother used to say, "Your name is Michael, not Mick, you are a Michael." And the other thing that you will have noticed about me is, as well as having Irish heritage, I am speaking with an English accent. Now, I have got to tell you this, that I did not learn my English accent at an actors' academy or drama school, or even via elocution lessons. I did it the hard way, I had to suffer the trauma of a childhood in England to perfect this act. So, okay, you know I've got Irish parentage. You know I was raised in England, but what you don't know is that what do you do? Because he told you. I now live in the west of Scotland. So you might well conclude that somehow or other I have subsumed into my persona the cultural and national identities of 3 different nations. But if you think that, you'll be entirely wrong. I'm just a confused Brit. Or at least I thought I was until I went to Scotland. And they pointed out that actually I was English all the time. I didn't know I was. I didn't want to be. I didn't choose it. But I suppose I wasn't Scottish and I wasn't Irish. And there's only 2 left. So a process of elimination. I wasn't Welsh. I had to be English. And let me say, if I could have chosen something, I would have probably chosen to be Irish. Because when you think about it, they have the most wonderful, sexy accents, don't they? And then if I couldn't have been Irish, I would have been Scottish, because although I say so myself, and I have checked, I've looked in the full-length mirror, I have got the knees that go well with the skirt. Now, having said that, in Scotland, the Scottish people are some of, I'm talking about the born and bred Scottish people, not just the ones that live there. They are some of the nicest people you could ever hope to meet. They are virtually the complete non-racists. They just love the whole world. I mean, once upon a time I heard that Robert Burns was the national poet of Scotland. And the diminutive, the Scottish diminutive for Robert is Rab, or Rabbi. But I heard it was Rabbi Burns, and I thought they'd gone and elected a Jewish clergyman to be their national poet. And then I met some German tourists in Scotland, and you've probably seen this, haven't you? You know, you've seen it on Monty Python, you know, don't mention the war. Anyway, the German tourists were going down to a pub, and they were going to watch Germany play England, so they sort of crept in at the back. And they were astounded because the pub was bedecked with German flags. And the whole place seemed to be supporting Germany. And when Germany scored a goal, the place jumped up as one and started singing Deutschland, Deutschland über alles. Because when I said that the Scottish are virtually non-racist, they have got an exception to that general. They don't like the English. And I think it's something to do with the battle in 1307. They haven't quite forgiven us for that. But anyway, I'd better move on and tell you that I stood for election in Scotland when I was hoping to become a member of the Scottish Parliament. But I do need to give you some cultural references before I give you my poem. And that is that the name of the Scottish Parliament, is, well, the seat of the Scottish Parliament is in the Palace of Holyrood, right? And from the west of Scotland, there's these big peninsulas, fingers of land, that were carved out during the Ice Age. Some of you will have heard of the Mull of Kintyre, which is, you know, Paul McCartney's. Well, we actually live on the adjacent peninsula to that, which is called Howl, the peninsula of Howl. And right at the end of it is a town called Dunoon, and we live near the town of Dunoon. And the big issues there are the ferry service across the Firth of Clyde, on one side to the other. And also there is a road which is very often closed. I know you've got the US 1 here, haven't you? We've got a road called the A83, and that goes over a mountain which is called the Rest and Be Thankful. It's called the Rest and Be Thankful because in years gone by, when people got to that part of the mountainside, they would rest and be thankful. So that's what they call the mountain. But it's closed a lot because rain means that there's landslips and the road gets closed. So I shall now give you this poem, and I just thought to say that it has been dubbed to be in the tradition of a guy called William McGonagall, because the Scottish, whilst they have Rabbie Burns as their national poet, they also, because they haven't got a lot to celebrate, they celebrate the best worst poet. And there was a guy in the 19th century called McGonagall that used to write ditties. And my poem has been compared to a McGonagall. And I ought to say I wrote this poem because, you know, you get a bit of a heads up in an election, don't you? I mean, I'm a good politician because I didn't get elected. And I began to realise I was, you know, probably going to lose. And I thought, I've got to do something to get noticed. And so I wrote a poem about the issues of the day. And I sort of do it in a Scottish idiom. And I used to go around on the campaign knocker and, you know, knock people up and then say to them, would you like to hear my poem? And actually, a number of them did. So it just shows how sophisticated they were, but they still didn't vote for me. Anyway, this is the poem, right? It's in this Scottish idiom, okay? People of Dunoon and Cowl, scream and shout and rage and howl. Do not throw in the towel, for there's a battle to be fought before new ferries are bought. So raise your voices far and wide, right across the Firth of Clyde, as far as Scotland's other side. To be so rude, make it in, they must hear our mood in the palace of Holyrood. What a shame about the name. For the rest, and be thankful you must avoid, for it's become the stop and be annoyed. Vote for me, and you will see an open A83. New ferries and a covered road will make Dunoon a la mode.
Wanda hails from North Carolina. Florida is her fourth state, and it suits her just fine. Wanda writes. www.wandafrazier.com. She wrote her first poem in middle school. The next one 20 years later. She kept writing. She can't help it. I think she'll be presenting something about her recent affairs. Let's welcome Wanda.
First of all, I'd like to apologize to my honey. I was weak. My affair with Martin. Last night I slept with Martin. That fucker got exactly what he wanted. Known him a little over a week and he's already in my bed. As long as I stay still, everything is fine. Since when am I easy? I hadn't drank a thing. Charmed by his melody, flawless skin, and exaggerated wood, I guess I craved his self-confidence. The absolute knowledge of what one is worth, what one deserves. He has standards, specifications of his surroundings. Everything is monitored. He's important. Martin loves his vehicle. I've seen it, afraid to touch it. Nicer than my house. Custom, plush, detailed, Not a speck of dirt or sand, no trash, no papers, no piles of anything. A man's got to have a nice ride. With the right air blowing across him, not too humid, not too dry. His voice demands it. His body cannot suffer. He will never again sleep on the floor. No one will ever walk where he lays his head. He will always be caressed. Periodically, I hear Martin singing. A layered melodic hum makes me feel like I'm up there with the bigwigs. He has definitely moved in. Of course, he will get the best closet, the most spacious cedar in the biggest room, out of everyone's way, safe from the elements, protected from careless hands. And when he does come out for a show, I can say I've slept with Martin.
Getting hot in here.
My affair with Harley. Harley is at my door. Actually, Harley is inside my door, right in my way. I let him in again. Good looking. He's probably dangerous, hot, loaded. Sometimes he spanks my ass. And at any moment, he could just toss me to the curb. Harley likes his freedom. Right now, he's waiting inside my doorway. He's loud, but he's fun. Strap on some leather and off we go. I admit, I'm his bitch. Stick it between my legs and don't sass. Keep my feet out of the way. Do what I'm told and go where he takes me. Don't yell in his ears. Don't scratch him with my nails, no matter how afraid I may be. Just spread my arms and legs and throw caution to the wind. I admire his freedom. He doesn't wear a watch. His fearlessness, his willingness to forego safety for the dangers of speed and just go for it. Allow Darwin to sort it out in the end. Live life on the edge. Some people fall off. Some people make it. For years, Harley has been playing the odds. At some point recently, I jumped on to breathe the spirit of creation and know that anything is possible. He makes me feel like I can fly. Just take off and don't look back. Oh, I played it safe. Gone with the sure thing that shattered the ground I walked on. I've also taken my share of chances. I've been in bad places with bad people. I've gotten in a car with nowhere to go and no one to trust. Pushed by external forces aiming me forward. I thought I had to hang on when really I could have let go at any time. Harley doesn't get pushed by anyone. No one can make him do anything. He is no one's bitch. He's a slave to the sky. He's a slave to the road, and he's telling me to trust him. This could all end badly. Maybe for me, perhaps for Harley. Though he's pretty tough. He's hung in there. So have I. I might just completely fall on my face, split my inside wide open in agony. Then again, I might not feel a thing. It would all just be gone in a second. But maybe this thing could really go, really move, swing and sway with all the days and nights that we share, ride until there's no more road, seemingly nowhere left to go. And then maybe, just maybe, I could fly.
Great, great. Yeah.
Arthur Walagora creates stuff. Here's some that he's going to share with us. Some poetry. Welcome, Arthur.
I've got this journal, sketchbook that I've had for a while, and I've got some poems in there that just kind of felt that I'd like to share with everybody here. There's a couple. The first one is called Growing, and it's about as we grow, some of our questions get too hard for people to answer. You have to excuse my pronouncing the letter R deficiency. I'm from Massachusetts. When I awoke, I saw your face, surrounded by everything else. You moved your lips, that I learned later what they were. You bothered with me. You taught me who I am, the way others look upon me. There was only you and everything else. To you, I looked for answers, for only you in my mind knew them. I trusted you to know the right ones. Independence was in my nature, I later found out. I questioned your knowledge. I made mistakes in this new place. As the years passed, I noticed the tears, that you, just like me, are still looking for answers. There is us and everyone else. And this one's just a quick little ditty. I always wanted to say that in the microphone, ditty. It's called The Agony of Talent. Upon my eyes, I see the world, the fear that others don't the way I see. I think of 5 and 6, when things were clear again. My age is that of confusion. I feel no forward leap, just going back in time. My heart is old, my passion is new.
Very good.
Thank you.
So I'm looking out, I'm hopeful. We have a few minutes. Do we have anyone who's plucked up their courage in the last couple minutes here? No. Okay, well, the good thing is there's another opportunity coming up on April 16th. So if you have some poetry, some music, or a story you'd like to share, come back and we'll hear you then. So thank you very, very much.
Thank
As
you.
usual. Excellent new talent and people we know sharing their stuff at the microphone. So thanks. Please tell your friends. Ooh, hey, thank you. Every bit helps. Thank you so much. Thanks. Good night.
Right, thank you. Yeah, you should. Interesting, you never know
If you want more news, sign up here. And
because those of us who don't but when you're new, you can't,
well,
so, all of us have our own and this has been absolutely joy. Nature is displayed well. They have some we'll be back together very soon. And if we most certainly on Facebook, and yeah, hopefully we'll. However, get together and have fun. Sounds good. But I'll be careful going home too. I'm the driver. But you can have you here tonight. Come see us again. Very nice.
Thank you.
think so. Yeah, I agree. So I started to, okay, so I'm trying to write something. Sorry. Yeah, like I realized,
Yes.
Thank you.
Is it cool?
Just so.
The website she's working on is going to be brand
What's going on with him?
You mean he moved from West Palm?
Well,